The markets have been extremely volatile due to the war situation that is ongoing. However, today we potentially were given de-escalation. So right now the markets are actually reacting very well. In this video, I'm going to go over my thesis as to why I believe probably the worst is actually already behind us and which altcoins and which positions I am heavily stacking. It's going to be a quick video. There's not a ton of news in the market itself, but I do want to just go over what I'm doing, which coins I'm accumulating, and where I am spending my time during this market, as it was crumbling and now it's looking a lot more promising. As I'm recording this, Bitcoin over $103,000. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Before we dive into it, guys, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more every week here on In the Game. We have you covered from everything from AI, meme coins, RWA, crypto gaming, and more. So shoot a like and a subscribe down below. And a big shout out to our sponsors here on the channel. We have some incredible sponsors from 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗍𝗃, Everreach Labs, as well as 𝗲𝗏𝗻. If you aren't already trading on 𝗲𝗏𝗻, it is by far the best centralized exchange, no KYC. If you're here like me in the United States and you need a home to trade, they are having a $4 million trading competition right now, and they do this very regularly. So link down below in the description to get started with 𝗲𝗏𝗻. This competition begins in just 2 days. I might even be somewhere on that leaderboard. I've been trading quite a bit, so link in the description down below if you want to sign up for 𝗲𝗏𝗻. Let's dive into it, guys. The market is actually looking pretty good today. We've seen a lot. We went under 100K over the course of Sunday, and then this morning there were rumors of an Iran, attack on a US base, and then there was an interception of that attack. So we've really been going through it as far as price action goes. We were dipping whenever the attack was ongoing, then it was intercepted, and now we're looking at over 103K Bitcoin, and it's crazy. We're calling this like peak fear. Usually in the past, whenever a war happens or this type of FUD, crypto gets absolutely hammered. And for the fact that, first of all, some quality alts are bouncing. We see Neural AI up 26%. We see the Arena up 25% on the daily. So we're seeing some pretty good bounces across the board. We see SoFon, Virtual, stuff like Wilder World, stuff that actually is quality, not just meme coins bouncing off of crazy lows, doing well today. And then we look at just the overall top of the market. We see Solana up 7%. We see Hyperliquid up 9%, 𝗬𝗎 up 10%. And a lot of these are the positions that we've been wanting to accumulate and have been accumulating actively on this channel. And in this video, I'm going to go over which altcoins I'm still zeroed in on at this point in time. But just looking through the news, it's crazy that we're seeing a six-figure Bitcoin in this type of turmoil. Michael Saylor's strategy today buys another 245 Bitcoin, which is worth $26 million. And look, your wife, your girlfriend, they might be looking at you from across the room during this time period, and you're like, this is the last shakeout. I swear, don't leave, right? As Rand always says, wife changing money. But the only reason it's wife changing is because we've been dipping so much that she left, right? But at the same time, I think we're looking at a much greener pasture heading into the end of the year, as we see the Fed saying that they are potentially open to cutting rates as soon as July if inflation pressure stays contained. We also see a lot of adoption. Van Eck pushing a new ETF on the market today. This was this morning at the NASDAQ opening bell. We see pudgy penguins up there front and center. And look, if we just look at the history behind these types of dips, the price bounced back after extreme FUD signal from retail traders, how crypto moves opposite to their expectations. So major FOMO at 108K Bitcoin, price dropped at that point in time. Major FUD as US strikes Iran, a 98K Bitcoin. As people think it's going to get worse, things only got better as we're sitting at 103K today. And look, what they're saying about today's attack and interception is that it was actually de-escalatory. So we might actually see a de-escalation, as Trump has also said he doesn't want to do any further attacks. So World War III, as they've been saying, might be completely off the table. And if that's the case, that is a very bullish thing for the market if there's a de-escalation going on here at this point in time. So right now in the crypto markets, number one, and I'm going to say this many times. I'm really dialed in on these same coins. I'm done going super risk on into the bottom feeders, the shit coins down here, you know, at a couple $1 million market caps. There will be times for that, okay? And look, we're in the trenches. I'm very active on the AVAX meme coin scene, etc. And there is a play I'm going to give you guys that's just a couple $1 million market cap in this video. And last video, if you caught this, you are actually in profit, because we did mention this on our AVAX tutorial over the weekend. But just looking across the market, I'm buying Bitcoin every day. Whenever it went under 100K, I put in a pretty good size order there, because look, if I can scoop up Bitcoin under 100K, and we're looking probably years in the future, we're probably going to see a 250K Bitcoin. So that to me was an absolute no-brainer. Another one that I was actively buying at these levels, just the fact that Hyperliquid got down to 32 after what we had seen recently. This token was almost $50, and then seeing the strongest token in the market dip all the way down to $32 was ridiculous value, in my opinion. It is the most reflexive asset in both directions. For the first time, a token is fairly launched, owned, and distributed to actual users of the protocol that are just there to trade, right? And at the same time, these are real people, and everyone is riding high on a revenue-driven protocol like Hyperliquid. So look, I do think it is going to continue to be a Hyperliquid cycle. CZ is trying to take down Hyperliquid, but the decentralized exchanges that have this type of power like Hyperliquid, I think it's going to be hard to knock them off track this cycle. And I do think that Hype continues to be the #1 altcoin in all of crypto for the duration of this cycle. So for me, that $32 level from 45 down to 32 on the top coin of the cycle, that to me was an easy buy. And we've been saying that on the channel here, just accumulate more hype. I think it is by far the easiest play in crypto. And another easy play in crypto, and this is going to go off the cuff a little bit, has been traditionally the Circle IPO was one of the most successful overall, but also just crypto IPOs. Like if you just bought Circle, who also is the issuer of the stablecoin USDC, if you don't know, they are absolutely crushing it. And on a fully diluted basis, Circle's market cap just flipped Coinbase, whereas Coinbase gets over 50% of their gross revenue from USDC. So to me, that's a pretty good signal that first of all, if you bought Circle, you're crushing it. But two, Coinbase is probably undervalued if we continue to see Circle go up. So don't feel like you have to buy the top of Circle, but I do think the Coinbase stock is a pretty valuable buy here at these levels. And when we just look through all of the coins that we've been isolating recently are showing strength today. We see Hyperliquid up 10%. 𝗬𝗍𝗍, one of the 5 coins that I said if I just had to hold 5 altcoins this cycle, it was Hyperliquid, 𝗬𝗍𝗍, Avalanche, 𝗬𝗏, and at that point I did say Virtuals. Virtuals is down because the meta is kind of slowing down there, but still we're really in coins of strength here. And Avalanche at $17 is a crazy long-term buy. I understand the price action has been very disappointing, but there's nothing livelier in crypto than the AVAX trenches. I did a full tutorial on my last video about the Avalanche trenches. The runners are strong and they're real. On top of that, there's way less PvP, aka player versus player, insider type of stuff like we saw on Solana. And really maybe 10% of crypto participants even know about it or are participating in this. So for me, it's a really good edge if you are in the AVAX trenches. And right now, probably my top play in crypto that is not a mainstream play. Like everyone on YouTube is going to tell you Hyperliquid, right? But there's a reason for that. Hyperliquid is just by far the best project in crypto at this point in time. However, there's so many good plays at these low market cap levels on Avalanche. And for me, the #1 at this point in time is Meow. I am actively in this coin. We gave it to you guys on the last video as well, underneath 2 million. My community got in at like 700K in our Discord group. And then on top of that, it's sitting at $2.4 million market cap right now. And this is by the team from Wilder-World. They have some really cool integrations planned. Look, their main coin is $80 million market cap or whatever the case is. So for me, I think that this coin could easily get to 8 to 10 million market cap in the short term. And especially for the fact, if we just look at the price action here, this has performed this well during war turmoil. Like it launched on the 19th. This has shown nothing but strength at this point in time. So for me, I love 𝗎𝗏 at $2.4 million. I know big wallets and big players are bidding this token. I would not be surprised to see 5 million in the short term. And I think this could hit $10 million market cap with ease at this point in time. That's really what I'm focused on. Those top coins, still, I'm really just hammering in on Hype. I still think right now, I mean, Hype off that bounce now at 37, still a good buy long term, but buying that $32 level was just way too valuable to me. On top of that, I think 𝗬𝗍, when we're looking across the board at our top plays, 𝗬𝗍 at 260 is a steal, especially when 𝗬𝗍 season does come back around. When we're rolling down here, the fact that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is at 320, that is a crazy buy at this point in time. And then on top of that is 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏. And I did a tweet this last week. I said, of all the gaming tokens, and look, gaming tokens have been the most disappointing thing of the entire cycle. We all understand that at this point in time. It's unfortunate. However, I do think that this narrative could run very hard at the end of the bull run. So for all of the gaming bulls here, I do think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I did tweet, which is the one long-term buy that you would be having in this market right now in the crypto gaming sector. A lot of different answers here, but the two most popular were Ronin and 𝗬𝗏. And I definitely agree here. And I think 𝗬𝗏 is probably the answer going into the black hole airdrop. So the black hole DEX is coming up. This is a project founded by 𝗬𝗏verse, 𝗬𝗟𝗏Trades, and Alex Becker. And as Becker responds here, 𝗬𝗏, everything and everyone is plugging into it, and also the black hole airdrop. Easy. So whenever I'm looking at gaming coins, yes, I think 𝗬𝗏verse is by far a no-brainer at these prices. For me, I also still like Beam, Ronin, and Prime on top of 𝗬𝗏. I think those are fantastic buys for the long term, and I think you're just getting good pieces of infrastructure there. But also, I've spread my top coins, my bets there, into infrastructures that host a lot of games. Avalanche with Off the Grid and MapleStory. We see 𝗬𝗍 with Pokemon NFTs on the back end of their blockchain. So I've still baked in with my top plays that have gaming layers, and then also my strict gaming coins like Ronin, Prime, 𝗬𝗏verse, etc. I think are very strong. And we did see yesterday, Crypto God John, let me find this tweet here. He had said, unpopular opinion, but the gaming coins will be the hottest narrative in Q4/Q1. And I do believe this could be exactly how it plays out. So traditionally, dinosaur coins pump at the end of the cycle. But what we saw last cycle is the very last narrative that had legs was gaming. It was gaming and metaverse at that point in time. And it is so beat down that regardless, I think it could be one of the most aggressive pumps whenever it happens, because there has been no relief since February of 2024. That's 16 months ago, right? And we're seeing games absolutely crush it, actually, at this point in time. If you read in between the headlines that say Web3 gaming is dead, we see FIFA Rivals, one of the biggest on-chain games ever. They're absolutely crushing it over at Mythical Games. And look, their token, I think, also should have a little more spotlight here. Let's go look at the Mythos token for Mythical Games. This is just never talked about on crypto Twitter or anything like that, but they are behind the PUBG game. They're behind NFL Rivals, FIFA Rivals. I think this could be a sleeper coin if this catches traction over the course of the next 6 months. On top of that, we see 200,000 mints for the recent Blood Loot mint, and this game did go live today. We also see Raven Quest coming live on July 4th with a $570,000 prize pool. We see stuff like Cambria was a massive success, on-chain heroes, off the grids moving into mainnet. So look, as much as gaming has took a hit, and I may have even lost slight conviction in just holding gaming coins for the majority of the cycle, I do think, and I do agree pretty heavily with the fact that I think at the end of this cycle is when gaming will have its legs. So if you're in gaming coins, there is still a light at the end of that tunnel, as I mentioned. But that's what I'm looking at the market at this point in time. And I definitely do think potentially the worst is behind us. I think people who were buying these lows whenever we did see those dips, stuff at 98K for Bitcoin, $32 for stuff like Hyperliquid, low 2000s for Ethereum. I think those were all fantastic buys, and we're still looking at good entries for stuff like Hyperliquid, 𝗬𝗎, Superverse, 𝗬𝗏, etc. So let me know what you've been buying in the description, in the comments, down below. As well, what do you think about this market? Because if we do see rate cuts in July, throughout the rest of the year, the market is going to absolutely print. And I think we're going to start seeing Bitcoin rise to a level, obviously, we've never seen before. But then the eventual Bitcoin dominance peak is going to drive us into an alt season that we have all been waiting for. So guys, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more. I will see you guys this week with more content. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.